This is the part of the show where I analyze your Goodreads and recommend a book you'll love. So, how does this work? Well, let's take an example, shall we? Meet TheBookImp. She's a 19-year-old Australian who loves historical fiction, fantasy, and romance. She has rated 387 books with an average rating of 3.21, which indicates a healthy range of ratings to analyze. She rated books highly like Jane Eyre, great, slightly dark, very gothic classic romance. Also, The Curse of Chalion by Lewis McMaster Buchholz Joel. It's a fantasy I love, with a slower waltz-like pacing. And she rated highly Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Marillier, slightly dark but very compelling fantasy. She had a middling rating for Romeo and Juliet, which I understand. I mean, you gotta love Shakespeare, but it is kind of an overly melodramatic love story. I mean, come on. Romeo? Dude's all sloppy over Rosalind and then bam! Juliet. And she had a low rating for The Forest of Hands and Teeth, which I also didn't like. I thought the concept was good, but the execution was weak. So I'm going to say for TheBookImp, her next book should be fantasy, with a lovely dash of romance and a tinge of darkness, but not too overwrought, and must be exquisitely written. So my powers are telling me that TheBookImp will love... Dramatic sound effect that I'm too lazy to find goes right here. Wizard's First Rule by Terry Goodkind. It starts off in classic high fantasy form, but throws in one of the most compelling love stories I've ever read. Plus, it's truly dark and uplifting all at the same time. Read it and enjoy. Okay, see how it works? Let's try it one more time. Why don't we try this on my resident doubting Thomas, one book, one review? She says doing this sounds like it's a lot of work. I say, it's sort of work, but mostly it's just fun-filled happiness. And sort of work. She's from Germany and has rated 367 books with an average rating of 3.7. So let's see what we got. She loves Terry Pratchett and Douglas Adams, the kings of the fantasy humor and sci-fi humor genres, respectively. She loves The Princess Bride by William Goldman, more fantasy humor. She also seems to love coming-of-age books like Looking for Alaska, Perks of Being a Wallflower, and I Capture the Castle. She's not a big fan of Emma, Never Let Me Go, or Oliver Twist. So based on this, I could either go with fantasy, preferably really funny comedy fantasy, or a coming-of-age tale. Who am I kidding? I'm totally gonna go the comedy fantasy route. Because she loves Neil Gaiman, Douglas Adams, Terry Pratchett, William Goldman, she is going to love Practical Demon Keeping by Christopher Moore. It's really, really funny, and at 287 pages, it's a really quick read. Okay, so that's how this thing works. Tell me what you would have recommended to these two ladies, and or if you agree/violently disagree with my choices. I will be doing more of these as I have more lovely volunteers to analyze. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to be added to my list of victims. I mean, volunteers.